Hey, what is going on, you guys? It's Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new video for you all today. So today I bring you guys loot from 10 hours of Dagannoth Kings. All of this one is going to be done off task, and I think this video is really a perfect fit for this 10-hour series. The goal for it is to make as much GP as possible while doing these Dagannoth Kings off task for the whole 10 hours, and I would also love to obtain the Dagannoth Rex or the Dagannoth Supreme Pet. As you can see, the Supreme Pet is the green one on screen there. The Rex Pet is the gray one right below him. I was fortunate enough to obtain the Dagannoth Prime Pet, which is the orangey red one there that you kill with range. I got him about 6 months ago during a Slayer task, so let's hope my luck continues today in some way. But getting into today's video and running through the long cave in order to get to the DK's lair as quickly as possible will definitely require some energy. So just some quick tips. I always bring a stamina potion to get there as fast as possible. Always got to bring that rune throwing axe for the door, and of course stock up on some pet rocks so that you don't need another player's help to activate one of those doors. Once I reach the DK's lair, I always kill Supreme first as fast as possible, as you saw at the very beginning of the video, and I would usually just tank his range hits, and if Rex gets too close, I'll just freeze him real quick until I finish Supreme so he doesn't keep damaging me. And once Supreme is dead, once my AGS has healed me as much as it possibly can, as well as my Blood Fury, then I will continue to freeze Rex instead of safe spotting him, and my Sang Staff gets me back any HP that I wouldn't have gotten back before this. Now, using the Imbued Heart as well as an Occult Necklace switch means that Rex will die pretty quickly, and since my strength was pretty much max, Supreme's usually dying quickly as well. So that's why I don't take the time to safe spot Dagannoth Rex. A lot of people are known to safe spot him, but he's just frozen most of the time anyway, and I kill him so quick that I really don't ever have to safe spot him, but that is definitely optional. Anyways, once Rex is dead after Supreme, I then move on to Dagannoth Prime, and I pot up with that Bastion potion. I keep Rigor on, and I let the blowpipe do its thing. I will definitely say a Twisted Bow is so much more effective than a blowpipe here, but I was on a set budget for this video, so I'd like to think that I'd pretty much have the best gear in slot minus the T-Bow. Some people have also mentioned to me that the Crystal Bow, the BOFA as it's referred to, is effective here as well, but I didn't really even try that out because, you know, why not? Once Dagannoth Prime is dead due to my blowpipe, though, I do repeat the cycle, and I really just don't AFK too much so that, you know, the timing doesn't get too off, and most of the time I was pretty good with this rotation. The only times I ever worry about dying is when my blowpipe does not hit much at all and Supreme spawns a little too close for me, a little too quickly for me, and then I have to rely on prey switching from Protect from Magic to Protect from Range. Usually this works. If they're on the same tick, though, that will definitely cause some problems, but you can always maneuver around this. You just can't really panic in the moment. One thing I also noticed while returning to these Dagannoth Kings this week was there was many different combat achievements that you can obtain here, which I did obtain a few, but I really wasn't killing them for that reason. My main reason was just to see how many rings I could get in these 10 hours and how many kills overall I would get. But yeah, you do get combat achievements here, so if you're into that kind of thing, this is a pretty good place to start. And of course, I always get the question about the noted bones in the bottom left of my inventory, but that's just because I have completed the Elite Fremennik Diaries, so every single kill that I got in this video is a noted bone, and that will result in a lot of profit. But I do know people out there who have killed these things thousands of times and still don't have the diaries completed, so it's not 100% like you have to do them, but you really should, because you'll lose out on millions of GP if you don't. But on top of the noted bones, I did try to pick up every single drop that my inventory would allow me, so you can expect some noted talismans, U-logs, a few nice seeds here and there, as well as some low-tier armor, that being Skeletal, Rockshell, and Spined. Even back in the old RuneScape, this armor wasn't really used for much. It's still not used for much these days, but the price of it does make it still worth it to pick up if you have the space to. You can always bring an alternate account here. It's a great option if you know what you're doing and you want to resupply yourself, but I didn't really feel the need to do that. A lot of Ironmen here solo Rex in order to obtain the Berserker Ring. Maybe they'll bring their main to help them out. Did run into a few Ironmen, but I did my best not to crash anyone since I was soloing and tri-bridding all 3 Dagannoths myself. And if you are a lower level and you don't really have the similar stats or gear and you're really just interested in the profit here, you can always duo these Dagannoth Kings with a friend of yours or get it assigned as a Slayer task so that your DPS goes up, and it makes it a little bit easier compared to if you're off task like I was. One little thing that I was not worried about at all during this video was getting poisoned, and this is due to the fact that I was wearing a mutagen, which is also considered a serpentine helmet, and this will make it so that you don't get poisoned the whole time. Just make sure not to unequip it. And in regards to the supplies I I was using Super Restores, Bastions, Super Combats, Blood Runes, Darts, a lot of scales. So when we get to the price check, I'll make sure to deduct the cost of all of that and see how much real profit we can make here in 10 hours. I also did manage to pick up and complete every hard clue scroll that I got, which made it more enjoyable since almost every time I banked, I was able to complete a hard clue before I go back, and that will definitely help supply costs as well. As it goes for killing Supreme, a lot of people did recommend using a rapier, but I was on a budget, so I just went with my tentacle whip, and I assure you the DPS was excellent. So you don't really need a rapier here, but if you can afford one, you should definitely look into it. The only Dagannoth that really gave me any issue was Prime, but you know, it was just mainly because it took a long time to kill sometimes, and you know, that it is what it is. If you have a twisted bow, that'll be a different story, but blowpipe can only do so much. As you've seen alongside the ring drops, you'll get a lot of dragon axes, but they have gone down in price since the old school RuneScape release. All these years later, they currently sit at about 50k, but that's still better than nothing, so I did pick all of them up. Anytime you see a mud battle staff, dragon axe, berserker, farseer, or archer helmet, as well as the armor pieces, those are all 1 in 128, and according to the wiki, it is 1 in 128 to get a ring drop here, so you really are gambling here when you hit those drop tables. You just have to hope for the best, and seeing as the most expensive ring right now is Archer's ring, which is well over 4.5 mil. That was my main hope for this video, to see as many as them as possible. However, I was seeing more Sears rings than ever before, and those are still 500k, but not even close to 4.5 mil. Even the price of a Zerker ring right now is about 2 mil, so that Archer ring really is good in value, but other rings can be decent too. And if you are struggling with your HP here, if you don't have an SGS, blowpipe, sang staff, you definitely look into bringing a Guthin switch or blood spells, then you really won't have to worry too much about getting hit, and you also can get some unnoted food drops here as well, such as shark and swordfish, so keep that in mind. That will help increase your trips depending on how many prayer potions you bring and all of that. The pet here is 1 in 5k, and I did have over 4,000 kills in each DK before the start of this video, and with one pet already obtained, I really had a lot of hope for seeing another one, but unfortunately it just did not happen. That's alright, you know, it kind of reminds me of 1,000 Armadillo that I completed last month, and even at 4,500 KC, I still have yet to see that big bird, so you know, no big dinosaurs as well, just means more profit for me in the long run, so it's not a big loss to go on a, you know, dry streak here for the pet. And overall, in 10 hours time, I did manage to kill Rex 217 times, making about 7.2 mil from him, killing Supreme 218 times, making about 7.5 mil from him, and of course killing Prime 211 times, making about 5 mil from him. So I do think that had I obtained another Archer's ring from Supreme, then this video would have been at least 1.8 to 2 mil an hour minimum, even after supply costs. Seeing as my luck was just average for this one, I ended up profiting about 18.1 mil, and that's with the clue scrolls added in as well. And the supply cost did bring me down to about 14.1 mil, so you're still looking at about 1.4 mil an hour off task while killing DKs at this combat with this gear, and I still think that's pretty good. I gotta say, DKs are one of the most laid back bosses to kill, especially if you're experienced and you have good gear. Actually good friends with rank 1 DKs across the board, and I remember him streaming it for months and months during his 200 mil Slayer grind, resulting in billions worth of profit and a lot of fun as well. So definitely check out DKs if you're wanting to try a new boss, and with the Tribrid setup, it requires you will definitely improve your clicking and timing skills if you perfect the rotations here. Overall, we still made 18 mil, 14 mil of it being profit, and no pet this time, but always the motivation to go there and keep trying, and it was a lot of fun. Very laid back experience, made for a couple good streams on Twitch, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. So with all that being said, thank you very much for your time today. I will see you in 10 hours of Wilderness Slayer, probably tomorrow night or the night after that, and make sure to check out the link below if you're interested in a computer. That will save you 5% off anything at final checkout. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. No Sleep out.